All right. Um, this is supposed to be a Benadryl video, but I want to discuss something before I get into the high. It's a different type of high right now. All right, so let's get into the subject. I've always thought like my whole life I had some type of ability or like some type of psychic ability or a little bit, but it's just been on the back of my mind a lot my whole life. And so I was on YouTube looking at different types of clairvoyance, and I came across um, an empath clairvoyant. And I was looking at certain traits on how um, different traits that empaths have. And as I was listening to the video, I kind of think I'm an empath. Um, Long story short, I think it came from my grandma. My grandma was like an empath clairvoyant. Rest in peace, Gwen Hardy. But she would cry for no reason sometimes. Wouldn't know why, just feeling others' energy, others' emotions. She was very, very helpful, angelic, like. She was an empath way more than I was. Long story short, there's a commercial, Shriners Hospital commercial where the kids have cancer and they're all kind of disabled and they deal on some type of physical challenge on an extreme level. I know the kids are all happy in the commercial and they're trying to just raise money, so it seems, but I have a real hard time watching that commercial because I can feel. Now, I don't really feel the emotion of those kids and their illness, but I just feel when I watch that video, it's hard for me to watch. I feel deep sadness when I watch it, and I try to make myself watch it. Sometimes I feel extreme sadness when I see the commercial, but I feel like I should do something to help. I want to do something to help, and I know that there is really nothing I can do. I have a hard time. Same thing with the other night. I don't know what I had a pretty strong buzz on the empath trait. So I had a pretty strong buzz the other night, and I don't know what I was doing on YouTube. I came across when celebrities break down, like when they start crying in interviews or whatever. So I'm watching this, and they had Angelina Jolie and Selena Gomez and Kanye. I could feel it a little bit. Selena Gomez's quick little emotion, sadness. I felt that a little bit. Angelina Jolie, because hers was longer, I felt a real deep pain when she was describing a story. Kanye's, believe it or not, Kanye's had I felt deep sadness when I saw Kanye's video. It was like, I felt like Kanye was trying to give that interview, the interview where he had on the green jacket. And he was trying to give that interview and be normal or appropriate in the interview. But I could feel kind of something on the surface about, when he was talking, and he just broke down, started crying. It's like, as soon as he did that, I felt like a sickness in my stomach. I felt pain. I had to get off of that video when celebs break down. And, the video that I was watching earlier was saying that empaths, they're highly sensitive to energy and highly sensitive to people's emotions. And that happens a lot with me. A lot of times I see people sad, I have a problem looking at it. One flaw of me from dating girls, as many as I have, one flaw is that any girl that I really had feelings for or whatever, we'd be talking or something or arguing a little bit, and she busts out and start crying. I don't know, I can't explain it, but it does something to me. They start crying. I can feel their pain. It makes me want to, especially if I've done something fucked up and they start crying, it makes me want to just stop doing what I did to make her cry and listen to what she's saying, because I feel sick to my stomach when they cry. That's the only flaw I see with me and girls. It's like, they start crying, it's a wrap. I'm instantly trying to be this magical superhero boyfriend all of a sudden to try and fix things. I don't want to see the sadness. My grandma was like that. She would bust out and cry for no reason a lot. One kind of funny thing with me and my grandmother, I was in Chicago and she was in Arizona a lot. And we would run across the same experience almost every time we would pick the phone up. But I would be thinking about her or something, and I would pick the phone up and get ready to dial her. on the phone, and I would hear like a voice coming through the phone. So before I could dial, I would put the phone to my ear, and she was on the phone already. This has happened at least maybe 200 times between me and her, where I've literally been thinking about her, she's thinking about me, and she knows. I don't know if we feel each other's energy or how that goes, but we'll pick the phone up and she's already on the other side. That happens all the time, and I think she has a greater ability. A lot of other things with empaths. So I was observing that they're very, very prone to being drug addicts, and the reason that is because they feel so much and they feel a lot of uncomfortable or pain that they are using these drugs all the time to numb themselves. Empaths isolate a lot. I isolate a lot, but I'm not sure exactly 100% what my reason for isolating myself is. Besides, I'd be able to get more done. But they were saying that empaths isolate because it's too much intensity of emotions around other people or whatever. So they're by themselves. They don't have to deal and feel all those emotions. And I agree with that. Like, a lot of bullshit goes on with families and friends or whatever. Sometimes I have to be by myself a lot in these videos, but I just really can't handle other people. The world as a whole is messed up, but I'm 32, but a lot of my age group and a little bit below is full of bullshit, It's drama, it's violence, it's sadness, it's fucking causing a scene, it's drunkenness. There's a lot of bullshit, anger, lots of anger and rage. And I being irate, a lot of my crowd, especially in Chicago, a lot of my crowd is about that. I don't like things like that. When I was younger, yeah, but I don't like that type of energy. I don't like how it makes me feel. Most of the time, if I'm kicking with a few friends, but it just be some chick, and we just chilling. It ain't about all of this drama and all this ex going to jail and drinking and fighting and shooting. I can't deal with it. I can observe it, but I don't want to deal with it. That's another empath thing. I feel like I was looking at how it was saying that I forgot. It was saying that empaths like to help and help out with things and assist, like on a service level. I'm kind of like that. Actually, not kind of. I'm like that all the time. People don't probably know this about me, or they can't detect it because they think I'm arrogant or high or stupid or something. I don't know what they're thinking, but a lot of times, if I'm around somebody or someone, even in public, or even if it's just helping with homework, I feel like I should help. I always feel like that, and I don't know why that is. I always feel like if a person's cool with me and they need assistance with anything that I can assist them with, I'm going to do it. I always give bums change outside all the time. I always do that. Been like that for years. Or if I have change when I come out the store. I meet people, especially in this tragic Chicago. I meet males, females, but I meet males all the time that have these really messed up child abuse, impoverished stories. A lot of times they cling to me. That's what they said about empaths. Like, people with problems will cling to an empath, to me. A lot of times I attract that, and I can feel others' pain as they tell me their life story or things that happen. And a lot of times I feel like I should talk to them. I don't know if I'm going to be able to list all the empath traits, but another thing is compassion. Empaths are extremely compassionate. I'm kind of dualistic with this empath thing. I'm very compassionate. If I can help somebody in any type of way, I'll do it. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. But I have a bad temper, and I'm not exactly sure how this works, the empath and bad temper and anger, because empaths are supposed to be helpers. Sometimes when people piss me off or like do something, I forget my ability, and I engage in the nonsense or the violence, whatever. And I can be very mean to people, but at the end of the day, I still want to help. I feel like I should apologize a lot of the time. I was listening to something they were saying about empaths, and they were saying that empaths are deeply spiritual and into metaphysics. metaphysics. I love metaphysics because it doesn't have an idol. It's not attached to any one thing. It's just mechanics. And I've read The Power of Now. I've read New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And I even look at videos on YouTube. But metaphysics is great, especially when like on The Power of Now, where it talks about staying in the present moment and benefits of it. So plus I meditate a lot. So I'm into metaphysics also. I like nature. So like nature in the winter, or grass. Like, nice, not like beach weather, but without a beach sometimes too. I'm in tune with that. Animals, for some reason, love me. And I can't really fully figure it out to why animals cling to me. But whatever the case, I think it has something to do with empathetic abilities, whatever. I don't really get that fatigue. They say some empaths have so much goes on with them and other people's emotions or whatever that they feel fatigued. I don't really feel fatigued that much. Sometimes, but coffee exists or energy drinks. I don't know if I'm correct about this whole empath thing, but I feel like from what I researched, read, and viewed, I feel like it may just be me, but I feel like my purpose in my life, or one of my purposes, is to help others, which I like to do anyway. But I've been noticing, especially like in Chicago, how I'll be minding my business, or I'll go over a friend's house or something, or even if it's a party, even if it's just me hanging with some chick, and people unload their problems on me a lot, and I really can't. Maybe it is a coincidence, but I feel like this may just be me, but I feel like one of my purposes in life is to assist troubled people, because I've been down many different paths, and I can relate to people that deal with homelessness, that deal with death, that deal with jail. They're always around me a lot, and I help them, but I'm still imperfect myself. I mean, maybe I need help from it. But that's not what this video is about. It's not about me. But let's just say 2 years ago, I seen somebody kill themselves in front of me. So, that was some of the worst sadness I felt, but I can relate to people a lot. If you look past my arrogance or laughter or drug use, I can relate to people. And that death did something to me. It made me use even more. But you'd be surprised, especially in the world, but in Chicago, there's a lot of people that seen people die out here. And it's like, sometimes I don't even like the subject. I really don't feel like going there. Chicago is America's little dirty secret. There's so much that goes on that the news cannot even record. Okay. A lot of times, it happened with my mother, but a lot of times when I do something to people that's really rude or mean, when I'm done doing it, I feel guilty. I feel their pain and their offense, or me angry or sad. And I usually just feel it until I apologize. That may be another empathetic thing. Like with me personally, I don't know why I like to help so much. I just like to help out any means necessary. That should rub me the wrong way, but for the most part, helping is the best, I didn't get too far into how they were explaining clairvoyance and empaths, and how that's all I really have to say for now. I mean, maybe I'll shoot another video explaining more, but let me know what you think. I could be just tripping. It could be a coincidence, but my grandmother told me years ago, too, before she passed, she said that She sees me in a gray suit, and I'm helping tons of people. I don't like to brag on myself, though I've had as a kid, but bragging on yourself is disgusting. I'm not going to say that's what I am or what I need to do. But something was told like that when my grandma told to me. I've also been told it by a lot of other people. So I won't say yay or nay, but it makes a little bit of sense if that is what I'm supposed to do or purpose.